this time, I would like to introduce my audience. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 10 infants did not receive vaccines in 2016. Although this is a very low number, it is not low enough. Children too young to be vaccinated die every day because other people in the world did not get a vaccination. An example would be the measles vaccination. I'm calling everyone's attention to get their vaccinations. If you have children or plan to have children in the future, get them vaccinated. You will be saving your child's life and quite possibly another life. This should be a good enough reason to go out and get your vaccines. Within this speech, I will be explaining why it is good to get vaccinated and what the downfalls of not getting vaccinated could be. I have online sources and academic journals to cite throughout my speech. These sources and journals have shown what vaccines do and why they are always the right choice. So why don't people get vaccinated in the first place? Some people don't understand the vaccination process at all. There are specific reasons that people don't go out and get their vaccines, but I think death outweighs all of these reasons. I'm going to speak of these reasons throughout my speech. Within the past few decades, the amounts of vaccinations have increased. Unfortunately, this increase has a positive correlation with the autism spectrum disorder rates in the United States. I'm sure that you can guess what I'm about to say next. Many people in America are confident that these vaccines cause autism. According to the article of the History of Vaccines, a man by the name of Andrew Wakefield was sure that the MMR vaccine caused autism spectrum disorder. Now, this was back in the 90s, but the study still shows to be popular today as many people know about it. Since the crisis of the autism spectrum disorder and vaccines has come up once again, more scientists and doctors have been studying the effects of vaccines. They have not found relevant information to link vaccines, particularly the MMR vaccine, with autism spectrum disorder. Since the 90s, we have gained a lot more technology in medicine. Doctors have been able to create more studies and create more tests to make sure adults and children are at their healthiest. Our doctors today are smarter and have learned more about these diseases. In fact, almost all doctors recommend that you and your children get all of your vaccinations on time. I am not a doctor, nor will I never be a doctor. I do not know much about medicine and how to prevent diseases, but I do trust in my doctors. I trust them because they went through medical school to learn how to save people. They would not recommend vaccines if they did not work. Vaccines show no relevance to the autism spectrum disorder, but even if they did, would you rather become infected with a deadly disease or have autism, which does not threaten your life? Thankfully, we do not need to make tough decisions such as these because our vaccines are safe and healthy. It is very inconvenient that vaccines and autism rates have a positive correlation. This is just another excuse to not get a vaccine or to not get your children vaccinated. According to the World Health Organization, there were about 15 deaths per hour in 2015 from children not receiving the measles vaccination. This death rate should scream out to people in America. I, for one, am terrified for my future children to become infected because other people refuse to get vaccinated. I have seen multiple stories on Facebook and other social media sites of parents warning others to make sure that they get their children vaccinated. There have been many cases in which children have died because of other people's mistakes. There are some vaccinations that you cannot get until a certain age. For example, a child cannot get an MMR shot until they are at least 12 months old. MMR protects children against measles, mumps, and rubella. If a child of 7 months goes around a 24-month-old without the MMR vaccination, the 7-month-old could get very ill. This is why I want to make sure that everyone gets vaccinated or gets their children vaccinated. Go out and encourage your friends to get vaccinations. Still, after hearing all of this information, people still have their doubts about vaccines. How do we know that these vaccines actually work? According to the Journal of Infectious Diseases, these vaccines are tested. If vaccines are going to be used in developing countries, they are tested there first. The pros and cons weigh each other out to see if the vaccine would be favorable in other countries as well. So, do the vaccines even work? Even if vaccines are proven to prevent diseases, some people are still hesitant because technically When you get a vaccine, you are putting part of that disease into your body. According to Live Science, vaccines are a great tool to prevent yourselves and your children from getting sick. Live Science says that vaccines are basically a training course for your body. In order for your body to become immune to the disease, live bacteria would be injected into your body. Unfortunately, sometimes you could get a cold from this, but it is nothing compared to the disease you would get without the vaccine. Many schools and activities are requiring that you get your children vaccinated. If no one vaccinates their children, how would they be able to live their lives? It would be a lose-lose situation if a child did not get vaccinated, could not go to school or their activities, and then got a life-threatening disease. Vaccines are important, especially at a young age. Every child deserves to have a happy and healthy life. If their parents choose to not have them vaccinated, they might not get the chance at the life that they deserve. All in all, vaccines are a win-win. We stay happy and healthy, and it only takes a minute to go in and get vaccinated. Vaccinations save lives. There's a child that dies every day from not receiving a vaccine or getting a disease passed on to him or her from another child that did not get vaccinated. These deadly diseases are preventable. Scientists and doctors work together to make these vaccines for a specific purpose, to give us happier and longer lives. Vaccines prevent and protect. Without them, we could all be sick. So what's stopping you from getting your vaccine? Vaccines are an important part of all of our lives. They are integral to make us and our families live the lives that we had always hoped for. The articles, studies, and journals that I spoke of in my speech today have proven to us that vaccines are always the right choice. I hope that I have encouraged you to go out and get you and your family members vaccinated.